Hello and welcome. Here we are again, the Marianne and Corinna show, which may be for a while every other Tuesday in the summer. We don't know. We're playing it by ear. And what is today's theme? Why might you change your vibration? That's a really strange question on the one hand. And it grew out, as you know, out of our conversation we had yesterday, where we talked about what was going on and what the vibration, the energy level each one of us had. And we chose the word vibration, but from a purely physics perspective, vibration and energy are connected. If you have again, purely physics perspective, a low energy, you also have a low vibration and or a lower vibration. If you have high energy, you have a higher vibration. Not that one is good or one is bad. And let's be honest, at least from my perspective, I have days where I'm on a roller coaster and I have days where I'm sort of even keel, you know. And also asking the question, if you are sad, how easy is it for you to perceive excitement, to go into excitement? How much may it rub you the wrong way? At least it can me. If somebody is excited and I'm sad, it's sort of that contradiction in energy has effects. And if I use that, then, as I said, if I'm sad, how much can I perceive a higher energy, a higher vibration? It's going to be difficult. And I also know that even no matter where I am, I can choose to move into that space. So it's not per se exclusive, but it's not a normal, natural way of functioning for us humans to be in one energy and then jump into one that is way higher or probably even way lower. Unless something happens that a memory pops up and you just, oh God, I remember the death of a friend or the accident or whatsoever. And then it's usually probably only temporary. It's not, like I said, I can have days which are even keel, where I entertain certain thoughts, where I feel certain energies, and then I have days that are just all over the place.
Exactly.
How is it for
Exactly.
you?
Oh, there was so much going on when listening to you, especially due to what you mentioned with the sadness, and then you can't perceive the happiness on the other side. And what I came really aware in that moment was, wow, that is something different that I'm choosing lately there also. As I am with you, I would say also it is not that easy to perceive the other side as the happiness, the joy, when you are in that vibration, darker vibration, lower vibration. Nevertheless, I choose more and more, and came out of such a period of going really, really deep and really deep into the tunnel in the cave, in the deepest of the cave of myself. So, yeah, I couldn't see the light in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was there. And within, I knew that then the higher vibrations are also there as the happiness. So choosing to know what you know there and allowing and going through such a second, because my computer is doing weird things. I'm still here? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm. So allowing myself, using also that intense lower vibration as, oh, perhaps it's a weird comparison I'm gonna do now, but you require a drill to have that hole in the wall to
Mhm.
put or hang something up. So you use also an intense lower vibration to drill through something.
Yeah.
And that is in a way also what I did the last
Mhm.
time, especially was really knowing, because even in that dark, in those dark moments, and they last for a few days, I could sense in a way that happiness that also was vibrating within. I wasn't happy, but I noticed it, that it was there, and I
Mhm.
used the lower vibration to come there, and the frequency. Yeah, that is also, Karina, isn't it? When we say, when we go through some stuff, we transform it, and then
Mhm.
as the effect of it, we become a higher frequency. So
Yeah.
what if that is now the time to acknowledge that more, that I require perhaps, and even if the word require is not a correct word, but that is what I can put on the vibration that I sense now, is what if we require those denser, lower, intense vibration to come to what is inclusive, because they are not separated. The highest happiness, the brightest happiness, is not excluded or separated from the heaviness or the darkness or the sadness. It is within, in the two sides. Within the happiness, there is that sadness, and in the sadness, there is that happiness. And it's only, yeah, we are in that kind of vibration, lowest in between, high, towards what, yeah, what we are choosing, but also what is up in our worlds that we have to figure out, that we can let go of, that we have to work through. So we become more conscious, we become more clear. So that's another take I got out of it when listening to you.
And when listening to you, I became aware of how much have we, and to some extent, I would say, even still, judge in this from this reality's perspective. There are good emotions and there are bad emotions. Emotions we are willing to have or we strive for, and emotions that we are not willing to have. So we do that separation.
Yeah.
And what if it makes it easier to not separate them, to allow that tension between a, let's say, sadness, being in sadness right now because of whatever, and still being aware of the happiness that is also there and is also possible. And that awareness makes it easier for me to, when I'm done muddling through that sadness, to go into that happiness
Exact.
instead of through the separation and saying this is good and this is bad. I sort of get, it feels like I get stuck in the one or the other.
Yeah, and how much is that pushing you when there is a judgment that the sadness is bad? How much do you push yourself to run away from it, to come out of it, where in truth, in that sadness is so much to learn, so
There
much
is
to
such
get out.
richness.
It is,
Yeah.
and somehow the question that pops for me, and I don't have an answer, I'm having only a question, is I have to look it up really, between that frequency and vibration, as somehow I can perceive also, because our question is, why might you choose to level up your frequency? And for me, when I see now how I go with it, the inclusion instead of the separation is this possible because of choosing, going, leveling up every time again my frequency, so I can include more, so I can be aware of more, even I can perceive more. So the whole package, or the package, is completer, and we have a complete overview in a way. So I'm not sure if I already get the difference between the frequency and vibration. What are they saying? How can I level up? Perhaps it's not a doing. That's for me how I notice it, that it is not a doing. It's not a one-way ticket. It's not a one formula. It's not a one exercise. It's more about being present for me, present with what I'm choosing, and allowing myself working through whatever there is in my day and coming up, even the happiness working through, because there is some richness in it also to get out and to become clear about it. And then it is, as effect of it, you notice that everything is different, that you go along different with the things, that your reactions are different, that your allowance is growing. That, yeah, that's a bit my take. What is your take, Karina, on that?
I would agree, and the image that just came, listening to you and pondering the question, is sort of, if I separate that and I'm in sadness, then I have a certain box size. And if I am leveling up, I am increasing the size of my box, which contains a lot more of the different vibrations, the different emotions. And, I heard in the early 90s, emotion, if you look at it as E-motion, energy in motion, then it makes it, at least for me, easier to be with an emotion and allow it to move through me, instead of having to hold on. Oh, I'm sad. Now I need to be sad for at least fill in whatever your belief system. And most of those belief systems are totally unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm really looking at the fact that I'm increasing the container that I have, and therefore more is available to me, which also makes it easier to shift, to choose something different.
And can I add something on that? Because of the emotion, the movement is also when there is an intense emotion. What if you ask in that moment, where is this sense I have moving me, or towards or through? So it is really getting that judgments don't lead anywhere.
No.
They keep you stuck, because then you have to go along with your judgment, whatever the judgment is. But then you have to hang on to that judgment, and then you will do everything to prove that your judgment
It's
is
correct.
the correct one.
Yeah.
So when we let go of the judgment and we really get that emotion is an energy, that an energy of the body, an energy of the earth and our body, that is moving us to become more clear about something, to work through something, whatever it is.
That's at least true for me. And I think because we're asked if we can make a question for that, the question that you proposed is, what is that emotion showing me?
Yeah.
To make
Showing me, moving me.
moving me towards, and especially of the emotions that we tend to judge negatively, to ask what is right about this emotion. Because, I just realize I'm feeling an emotion and I'm not necessarily clear on why I'm feeling that emotion. Am I feeling that emotion? Is it coming out of me? Am I picking up somebody else's emotion? Am I picking up the earth's emotion? And you probably remember months ago when the war with Ukraine started, that I said, I'm picking up a tremendous amount of sadness and despair. And then when I read the news, I said, oh, okay, that's what I was picking up, because it was already going on, Europe being ahead of us time-wise, but I didn't know, cognitively know about that.
And if
So
you see that in the movement, Karina, this is something, that emotion you had moved you into the awareness due to what you read about it. So you knew, oh, there is something going on. So the movement is not always heavy and intense or whatever. The emotions moves you in some, sometimes in a split second, to get it clear. Oh, it's not mine.
yeah,
So thank you. Oh, I am so aware, because it's not because we are aware of something that we have to respond or taking actions, or that we have to do something, that we are responsible for it. We can acknowledge also the movement of the emotion that goes through us, just for having the clarity, just having the awareness.
and what I would say, it's also, what if I'm willing to stay, to be present with that emotion? What if I'm willing to not push it aside? How much change can that willingness of being with the emotion create in the world? Because it's, there is a certain, for me, there's a certain energy. If I'm pushing something aside, I'm basically saying I'm not willing to be present with that.
Yeah.
And being willing to be present with it, I've heard lately so much, oh, we need to bear witness. And there are, it's a very Buddhist viewpoint to bear witness. But you can't bear witness if you're pushing something aside.
And slightly, because it's an energy I perceive coming in, is by being present is not the same. Being present with the emotion is not the same as becoming the emotion.
That, yes, thank you.
Because that is taking on the
Yeah.
emotion where you stop the movement, where you stop the motion. And that is something different. Yes. What is she saying? I'm not choosing this anymore. I want something different. Yay! That's what we are choosing.
Yes.
Something different. Because also when from my experience, and it can be different from your experience, Karina, but what I notice is really going in every movement, and it's not only emotion that is a movement,
No.
thoughts can be also the movement you require, etc., but allowing without judgment, in allowance, and being present with it and working through the things. So the frequency is leveling up, and I don't have to do anything because everything is a choice. Also, I choose to be with it and to go through it. So but from yeah, the change in frequency, every day there opens up another world, looks like. So in a way it is
Yes.
even, yeah, you see, literally also you see so much more.
And you experience so much more. I mean, just what I shared with you yesterday, the experience I had Saturday, driving through the mountains here where you have spring and all the aspen are green, that vibrant spring green, and the space I was in. And as a sudden, I experienced an intense joy of being alive.
Yeah.
But if I'm holding on to emotion, if I would not have, and I'm just becoming aware of that right now, if I would not have increased the space of my emotional container, I probably would not have been able to feel, at least on that intensity level, the joy of being alive. I might have felt the joy of being alive, seeing the green aspen, etc. But that intensity was just something that was washing through me.
And could that be, Karina, because you mentioned it, you opened up your container, so your frequency is different. So from that aspect, the vibration, the connection with the green tops also is different. So you
Yeah,
can receive again.
in
It
a
is that
different way.
gifting and receiving that we do towards ourselves and within nature. So when something goes up, everything in nature that already is vibrating and on that frequency is available, becomes available also,
Yeah,
and you become it. So that is something in a way that I experience also. It looks like the grass has another color, the flowers smell different, the flowers have another color, the birds, the songs of the birds are, yeah, it's everything changes. It is, yeah, it's
just just
joy.
just one example. I think even a year, maybe 2 years ago, it would have annoyed me to no end that there is a cricket underneath my window every evening serenading me. And
You say you wouldn't receive from him.
yeah, I, I would have been annoyed by it. Do you have to make that much noise? I want to go to sleep. That would have been the energy. And now I'm just sort of cuddling into the bed and saying, ah, thank you.
That it is that thank you, because you acknowledge. the animal, the insect, whatever it is that is appearing, the cricket in this moment, but you acknowledge it, and you acknowledge the concert, the communication is giving you, and you receive it, and how much quicker it can be shutting up because you received it.
Or, which is what is happening for me, I just fall asleep because I'm not fighting it.
Yes, yes, yes.
When I'm getting into that, so much noise, shut up, I want it quiet, and there is a fighting against something, and I can just, it can be part of my world.
And that is something beautiful that you mentioned here, that fight. The more you change, you choose something different, and the fight is coming out. Automatically, frequency goes up because the two don't go together. Yeah. And what I noticed in the hike this weekend was also the insects become, how would I say it, become one of the family, the human family also in a way, as they didn't bite me. They were flying, and we were really hiking in a wildish space. So there were a lot of new insects I never saw before, for example. But I was so wondering, and then I was looking and saying hi, and then they opened their aces, and then they flied away, and so much more is possible to receive, because you are open up. When you open up your container, then you are for so much more open.
What I'm just wondering is, as my world opens up, increases in size in a way because it includes more instead of pushing out stuff.
Yeah.
Is that related to the vibration? And as I said before, in the beginning, it's not that I'm now vibrating there. The whole container is available, and it's a smooth. There is no resistance. There is no fighting. It's just all smooth, moving in that way bigger, ever increasing container as I'm willing to increase my vibration.
And that's the flexibility. And that is also allowing that there is no target, there is no endpoint. It is an ongoing flow. As we see, it's in a way, we are such babies that start to explore a whole new world. And we don't rush. And we don't have to rush. And it is for me really, 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 really notable. And I experience it every day, that I am living in another world. I am living something completely different. And this world, this reality is still going on also, but it doesn't affect me as much, because there are still points that affected me, because I am still going through that learning to become more clear. So of course, there are still things that has an effect, or that touches me, or whatever. But in general, I'm having so much fun. And do you know where I do have a lot of fun also with? It's like laughing with myself, as, oh my God, that was something that I was choosing before also. Oh, and it was like that when you choose this and that. So it is also, that is the emotion also from a movement that lets you play with yourself, that allows you to continuous play with everything that appears. And it's not always easy, because those past 14 days before, it was not fun, it was not ease. but nevertheless,
You wouldn't do without it.
I wouldn't do without it. And exactly because the reward, quote unquote, is what I experience now.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yes. And what is in a period time of 24,000 years, what are 14 days? Nothing. It's not even a breath, a complete breath. It is, yeah, so fast.
And, relative, if we go with how long is humankind on the earth, what are 14 days, and then how long is humankind on the earth relative to earth history, that is,
Yeah.
negligible.
Yeah.
So what is that time pressure that we put on us? And
Yeah.
in all honesty, saying this right now, I become aware is what if? I mean, intellectually, we say, yeah, time is a construct, da, 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 da. But are we actually getting it?
You get it when you get it, Karina.
You get it? Yeah. And I think I just got on some level, duh. If I don't get it today, do I have to be sad? Do I have to judge myself? Do I have to whatever? Instead of just saying, yeah, okay, I'll get it next month. So what?
So what? And even within that, the little tiny bits, nearly invisible, nearly palpable, or nearly experienced, but everything we do for ourselves and within ourselves has an effect on everything.
Around us, yes.
Even when it looks like you are lazy and you are just watching TV or reading a book or doing crochet or whatever it is, even in that moment, you are still a contribution. And when that is clear, when you are willing to receive that, also that changes a lot in time perspective.
Yeah.
Because it
Takes the
is
pressure off.
always, it is more than time to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
I'm curious, even
we
for
don't change.
Tatiana.
I just want to say that we don't change faster because we put time pressure on us.
Oh no, the
And
opposite.
at least I have that experience,
It is the opposite. And I was always, because yeah, I won't have the change yesterday or the week before, but then you rush through so many things that somehow you put aside those who are probably from importance, but because you have that urge to go and go and go, it is yes, that we will do later on if I'm there.
If I'm there, or you put blinders on.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying with that
because
pushing
you're
away.
only shooting for that you can't see any of the other contributions that are actually present, despite you not changing as fast as you thought you should.
And that emotion can brings you around those things and underneath and above and wherever.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say only was, so I'm happy, but and I hope especially for Tatiana that she takes out something. So what is, Tatiana, if I am so free to ask your question, is just tapping into yourself. Could it be that your frequency already changed just by being present here with the conversation and receiving what we shared with you? So that's just the question that I have.
And what do you know that you have not yet acknowledged that you know?
Oh, yes, not acknowledging what we know. I'm good at that.
Sounds very familiar.
I'm good at that. But I'm choosing difference. So yeah, you never know what I know now within 5 minutes, within an hour, within a year. You never know.
Yeah.
We will share.
We will share. And for right now, we are not planning in a week, but we're planning another Facebook Live in 2 weeks. And
Yes.
then we're not making it a fixed thing. I'll just try to post on Facebook if we're on or not.
Yes.
So
Great.
thank you, Marianne, for your contribution. And thank you,
Thank you,
Tatjana,
Karina.
for being present
Yeah.
with us and seeing us, as I put on Facebook. See you later.
See you later, alligator.
Yeah.
Bye
Okay.
bye. Keep your
Thank
frequency
you.
high.